Here at Southern New Hampshire University, we believe we can play a role in the education of future counselors.
Today, so many people are looking for a program that's going to give them an opportunity to make a difference. Our program of study is designed to train clinical mental health counselors for work in a variety of settings.
There are 2 courses that have an embedded residency. Twice during the curriculum, the students will come together in a week-long in-person experience for a week of what we expect to be very intensive training.
It is the best of both worlds because it offers, of course, the convenience of online education, but then we take it to the residency to be with people now that they've been learning with and meet faculty for the first time that they've seen videos and these course shells.
The video-based technology also allows them to interact with each other during role plays in a way which is not synchronous. They can be in different places at different times, but the software creates a kind of live experience.
I'm really excited to see this program come to fruition. The counseling program is such a right fit in terms of our mission, which is the ability for them to transform their lives and the lives of those around them. And I am just incredibly excited to see the impact that our students will ultimately have in their world.
Hello, welcome. I'm Dr. Mark Wilson. I'm the Executive Director of the Counseling Program here at Southern New Hampshire University. We want to welcome you to our orientation session for the Masters in Clinical Mental Health. We're going to talk a little bit about the program this evening. We're going to talk about how we're here to help you build a sense of community with us and with each other, how you can really begin to start off your graduate work in counseling on the best possible footing. And we want to encourage you to use the chat feature to go ahead and ask questions, and Sarah will relay them to us so that we can get them right to you. I'm joined this evening by Stacy Reihetzer and Frank Hudspeth, Sarah Sable, and Damian Cummins, and they're going to introduce themselves and talk about their role in the program.
Hi, I'm Dr. Stacy Reihetzer, and I'm one of 2 associate deans in the program. We are so very glad you're here. This is just a wonderful experience that you're getting ready to embark upon. And I think back to my own time when I began my counseling journey and was just beginning graduate school, recalling just the nerves that I had, how excited I was, and how certain I felt, because it was a lot that it took to get me there, as I'm sure is true for you. And the thing I'll say to you is just open yourself to your learning. There is so much that's coming your way. You're going to have great information that you're being exposed to about all sorts of different types of experiences and how to diagnose and how to plan treatments for a variety of clients experiencing all sorts of problems in living. And I'm just so happy for you, and that's really my most sincere emotion right now, because I know what you're getting ready to embark on, and I know the change that's going to happen for you as you grow toward becoming clinical mental health counselors. So welcome. We're just so happy you're here.
Hi, I'm Dr. Frank Hudspeth. I'm the other Associate Dean, and I'd like to agree with Dr. Stacy, and we hope that this journey is as beneficial for you as it was for us when we began our careers. I know I began my counseling career more than 16 years ago thinking that I wanted to do this or that and thought that I would want to work with adults, and as I learned, I found that I like children more, so I became a registered play therapist. I've worked with children for more than 15 years, and as I have changed, so has the counseling profession. There's so much more out there now that we can do, and we can do for our clients. We hope that your journey, like I said, is as good as it can be. We're here to support you. We hope to open as many doors for you as that were open for us.
Hi, I'm Sarah Sable. I'm going to be your academic advisor. Many of you I've already met over the phone and through email, and I'm very excited to work with you on your academic journey towards becoming a mental health counselor. I'm here to support you in any way that I can and provide resources along the way.
Hi, my name is Dr. Damian Cummins, and I'm very passionate about being here and being a part of your learning experience. And one thing that I think that really drove me to be a part of counselor education is I was in a program that I was very proud of before I came here, and I was proud to be a part of that, and I want to give back. And so in that, I want to be a part of a program that I can build and encourage other people to be proud of as they get out into the counseling field and become mental health counselors. And so I want to encourage you all to be passionate about what you do and come in with an open mind and willingness to learn and excitement for becoming a counselor.
Thank you, everyone. So now we're going to be joined through video by another faculty member, Dr. Earl Gray.
Hello, and welcome to the program. I'm Dr. Earl Gray. I'm a full-time faculty member here at Southern New Hampshire University in the counseling program. Very excited to meet you here in this orientation call. A little bit about myself is I live in New York City, and I have a small private practice. I became a counselor to help people change their lives, and I became a counselor educator to help others learn how to help others change their lives. My practice is focused on working with complex post-traumatic stress disorder and depressive issues. I work with children and adults. I'm also the practicum and internship coordinator here at Southern New Hampshire University. My job in that role is to help each of you stay on track with your program, secure a field site, and establish your professional practice identity at the end of your program. We have designed a process to help you stay on track. You can find that process and the procedural checklist on the learning community. You will also have some activities in your courses to support you in this process. If you have any questions about practicum and internship, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. I know there's many questions and probably some anxieties about the field experience process. I'm here to help and support you along the way. Please do not hesitate to email me at any time. Here's to a great journey.
Thank you, Dr. Gray. Dr. Gray mentioned the learning community, and I'm going to turn it over now to Dr. Reihetzer, who's going to tell you about the learning community. It's a resource that we're very proud of, and we hope that you'll check it out every day.
We hope you will. It's going to be really exciting as the learning community develops. And what this intention is really for a space that you have to engage each other and your faculty members that's outside the classroom. So if you happen to have some questions or things that you're wanting to know about what's going on in the field, certainly updates that are going on for you, this is a place to post them. But there's also just the sorts of random questions that a student tends to have while going through graduate school. So maybe you're just needing to know about course sequencing, those kinds of things. You're not sure who to ask. Well, we'll have a faculty member who is tending the learning community, and we'll all be checking in on it. So we're there to answer questions and to make sure that you get referred appropriately. Also, as Dr. Gray mentioned in his video, the learning community is a location where you'll have a lot of resources. Right now we have the student handbook as well as the field experience guide, and also the field experience, it's a document, actually, I don't remember what we named it now, come to think of it, but it's a document that goes step by step each term on what you need to be following for your field experience preparation. We also will be putting in some information about what faculty have going on and what we're doing on a month-by-month basis. So you can keep on top of the conferences we're attending, the stuff we're writing, the speaking engagements we're doing. It's going to be just kind of an organic process for us that will be much like if you think about going onto a land-based campus. You go to your department, the elevator doors open, and there's your office. So so maybe there's the bulletin board where there's all kinds of announcements going on. There's the little cafe area maybe where people are sitting around chatting around a water cooler or whatever. There are various locations that you can go to get resources and information you need, and that is really what we have in mind with the learning community. So please use it, please visit it often, because there will be all sorts of new information that's forever being posted in there. So we're really, really excited about it and look forward to getting it kicked off. Like I said, a little bit of stuff in there right now. She's still got her curlers on, but she'll get them out, and it'll be looking really good in the very near future. So check out that learning community.
Thank you, Stacy. One of the things that's really special about this program is that twice during your time with us, you're going to come together as a group to meet with each other, to meet with your faculty in what we call the residency. This is going to be an experience during the second course you'll take here, and it'll be the 4th week of that second term. And I know there's a lot of questions about that, and I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Cummins, and he's going to tell you a little bit about what you can expect of the residency experience.
The residency is going to be a really exciting experience for all you guys, because it's going to be an intensive workshop where you get to work face-to-face with not only your peers, but also the faculty and the staff. And so you'll get to see demonstrations from the faculty. You'll get to participate in small groups and large groups and get to work together and really kind of hone in and build up your skills as you kind of work and developing your own counseling style and working to kind of develop your professional identity.
So one of the things about the residency is you're obviously going to have to travel to it. And I know Sarah is going to be, if she hasn't already been talking to you about the travel experiences. It may seem like it's quite a ways off. We've got the first 10 weeks of this term, and then we've got several weeks of the next term, but we really want to make certain that things like travel arrangements don't stand in anybody's way. So we're actually going to be doing a little survey of you at some point in the near future to find out what your travel plans will be and see if you need any help with that. Sometimes students are worried about the cost. The cost of the residency is covered if you're using financial aid, and so the only thing that you will have to pay for out of pocket is the expense to get to where the residency is. The added cost of the residency for the meals and all of that is, as we say, baked in to that. So again, I want to encourage you to book early. The other question that often comes up concerns licensure, and I'm going to ask Frank to talk a little bit about the licensure process.
The licensure process is one of those things that changes per state. I myself am licensed in 2 states, and I can tell you that each state is different from the other. Want to assure you that if you're in this program, you're in a state that we meet the licensure requirements for. Countless hours have been spent aligning courses to meet the licensure requirements in 44 states. You will begin to talk about licensure in your first course, Counseling 500. Much of the content and the basics will be covered there. You'll cover some throughout the program. The content for licensure comes from your coursework. The next thing would be the clinical experiences that Dr. Gray mentioned. And then afterwards, once you're finished with the program, then you begin a whole new process. That's where all the states differ, and it has to do with licensure exams and supervision and numbers of hours of clinical experience needed. We're here to support you, and we're going to follow you from clinical experience throughout, and then post-masters as well. So we're here to support this process. If I can answer any specific questions about an individual state, I'd be happy to do that on an individual basis. It's not that difficult, and you will survive it. We've all survived it when becoming licensed in our respective states, and we know that you will also.
We do have a couple questions. The first question pertains to getting onto the website. I'm imagining you're asking about the My SNHU website. You want to log into the my.snhu.edu website and then enter your credentials to enter the site. It's the answer to that question.
And if you're talking about how to get to the learning community, you can certainly get to it through
the My homepage.
You can get to it directly, but at least the first time you are going to have to enter your login credentials. So it would be your SNU email address and whatever your password is.
Yeah, your date of birth, unless they've changed it.
Right.
There's also, I believe, a link to learning community right in their classroom.
Yes.
As well. And then the residency will be on the SNHU campus excuse me, this July.
Yes.
So July 9th through the 15th.
Right.
It will be here in Manchester, New Hampshire.
That's right. So the summer residency, the first one will be on the campus, and then other residencies at other times, maybe at other locations.
Yeah.
So we're going to show you now some other resources that we provide here for you. We're going to introduce you to Liz from the Writing Center is going to talk to you about help with the writing process, and then Dylan from the Help Desk is going to talk to you about any technical problems you might have and how to get help with those.
Hi Liz, thanks for coming by today. And I wanted to bring you in to talk about the Writing Center and the things that are available through the Writing Center to support students. But my fundamental question is, why is writing so darned hard?
Writing is hard because it's a process of self-discovery. Students need to make themselves vulnerable, to share their ideas, to feel accepted that they wrote something worth reading. They sometimes think of it as an individual process, that they're staring at the blank screen, where in fact effective writing involves collaboration, and that's where you're vulnerable. One of the things that students consider difficult is grammar. So when you're talking about submitting writing or working with peers, they think grammar is the most challenging piece of the writing process, where in fact it's the simplest for the writing coaches to help you work through.
So I'm going to hazard a guess and say that you just made a lot of students very happy by saying that grammar isn't the end-all and be-all in the writing process, and it is something that can be learned. So I can hear sort of a sigh of relief through cyberspace right now with those students. So I think that's great.
That's great. It's true, because understanding how to present the content in a way that is well researched or using your critical thinking skills, that's the challenge of writing.
Let's say you get your first paper back and you didn't do so well. What do you do?
The most successful people in the world throughout history have failed the most. So it's a great opportunity. When you get information back, it's a gift. When faculty or students provide you feedback that helps you focus on this could be improved or this could be thought through more, it's an opportunity for you to take a second chance. And that's how you improve. Writing's hard because it's a process of improving and persisting.
So let me ask you a follow-up question, which is what services do you provide for students at the Writing Center on a practical level?
So the first service is directly in their Blackboard course. You can submit a paper. This is the most effective resource we have for students because we want students to submit from the first class. We want them to brainstorm and get feedback from that, and then just work through the process of developing all the skills necessary to submit a successful final piece. The second opportunity students have, there is also Smart Thinking, which is available in their course. So at the end of the writing process, Pearson Writer, inside the Smart Thinking resource, gives you grammar help. And students are concerned about grammar, and it's actually the simplest thing to fix. You submit your paper, they let you know what you need to adjust or fix, revise. You fix it, submit it to the faculty.
Any other services that you guys provide?
Yes, on the My SNU page, we have an online Writing Center web page that you can click on. We have a big icon at the bottom. And students can ask a simple question and get a response within 24 hours from a writing coach. We also have a schedule of workshops that are designed to help the students from the first week all the way through the writing process. You'll be in that workshop with your peers and with a professional writing coach.
Hi, Dylan. Thanks for stopping by. You work with the Help Desk. And I wanted to ask you a few questions to have our students understand what the Help Desk can do for them. So my question is, what's our Help Desk situation here at SNHU?
Absolutely. So our Help Desk situation is actually all of our technicians are hired and here on location at SNHU in the Manchester Mill Yard. They work right across from the gym where most employees work out during the day. They're actually available 24/7 for access. So when you call in, you're getting someone that's familiar with SNHU, that's on location at SNHU and is familiar with our region. So it's not somebody unfamiliar, and you do not have to feel in any way sort of deterred from calling our help desk for assistance at all.
So sometimes I worry that a student, especially in their first week or so, couple weeks of classes, run into a technical problem and they get really discouraged. They feel like, I don't know what I'm doing, maybe I'm not cut out for this. What kind of advice would you give to a student who's feeling that early on, that sense of worry that they can't do the technology at SNU?
Yeah, it's easy to get frustrated with all the different technologies that we use here. We're using different softwares all the time. Courses can be completely different. It's really easy to get frustrated and lost, confused a little bit. The first thing I would do is just call us. You can call our hotline, you can chat in. Anybody there can assist you. Everybody there is very friendly and able to assist you and has done it before. So I would call right in directly as soon as you need help.
And do you find that you can help most of the students when they call in with a problem?
We won't stop until we do. We'll put in a case for you if we need to. We'll escalate it to the proper hierarchy. But other than that, we'll do a remote session with you. We'll stay on the phone for however long we need to. We don't have any sort of call center turnaround time. We're there for you until your problem is solved.
That's excellent. So just remind us again.
So thank you, Liz and Dylan. I hope, folks, that you're getting a sense of the kind of support that's here for you, be it the Writing Center, be it the help desk, be it your advisor. Other services that are here for you that we haven't even talked about tonight are support for the online library. There is a very active career services. You'll have advisors in the Career Center as well that you'll come into contact with. I see we've got some questions.
Yep, we do have several questions regarding internship. The first one is, can a student do their internship at their place of employment?
And that would be, I could say that would be one of those things that the state would determine, because internship would be part of that clinical experience that would go into that process of licensure. Some states are very specific about that's fine, and some say no, that cannot happen. So that would be an individualized thing. We would look at it, see if the site meets the requirement for the state, has the approved supervisor to meet the requirements, and what we would need as far as paperwork done and things like that. So it's not impossible, but it would be a state-by-state thing.
I'm going to recommend that those kinds of field experience questions, that students actually reach out directly to Dr. Gray.
Yep.
Who can go ahead and tell them specifically based on where they're located and what the requirements are. So, and again, he can be accessed via the learning community.
Yep.
It's under resources. So that would be the best solution for that type of question.
The next question also might be best fielded by Dr. Gray. Hello all, I know the practicum and internships are 3 separate courses and terms. What term should we start the practicum? I want to start looking for sites.
The way we have it set up, we're going to be working a little bit towards practicum and internship, getting paperwork done, looking for sites early on. It's set up where you will have a practicum site nailed down about 6 months before you begin it. Practicum begins in term 10, and then the 2 internships are 11 and 12. So this will be started well before the actual clinical experience begins, and that's one of the things that Dr. Gray will be helping you with.
Mm-hmm. And there's actually a term-by-term guide that's in the learning community. So if you go to the program resources, you can find that guide that's in there, and it will tell you step by step what's happening and what you should be looking for at what time, and what you should be submitting at what time. So that's a very, very helpful planning document.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's great that you're already thinking about it. In some sense, it's never too soon. On the other hand, if those of you who haven't begun thinking about where you might want to do your field work, don't worry about it just yet, as you've heard. We really have that broken out as to a step-by-step basis. We're going to make certain that by the time you're academically ready to do your field placement, you know where you're going to be, you've found a location, we've negotiated that affiliation agreement with them, and that everything is good to go. We're getting ready to wrap up here. If you have some questions, you can ask them online. Certainly if questions occur to you afterwards, that's what Sarah is for, and if she doesn't know the answer, she knows who to ask.
Yep, I absolutely do. We have one last question also around the area of internship and practicum. The question asks if the practicum and internship experiences all need to be the same placement, or can they use different placements for each?
And that would be up to you. I mean, it's good to be able to be in one location. Sometimes it's easier to be able to get a good practicum internship site if you can guarantee that you're going to be there for an extended period of time. And then there are placements where you may only get a 10-week term for practicum and have to look for a different site for internship. It would depend on your site and the experiences that you would like to accomplish, you know, working with the gamut from children, adolescents, to adults.
Great. I want to pause and give everybody else here on the panel a chance to give your best piece of advice for a new student in an online clinical mental health master's degree.
You know, my advice would be really to make room for your learning and give yourself permission and space to do this. I think what often happens is people come into this kind of an experience and expect to treat it like just something that is just another piece of social media, and that they're just going to plug in and check in like they do in their Facebook threads, and that's not really what this is at all. There is a great deal of reading every week. There's a great deal of thought that goes into the stuff, but you're going to be encountering information that is vastly interesting, and it's going to be creating all kinds of new discoveries for you. You'll be thinking about things that you've never thought about. You'll be diagnosing the people in your life. Trust me, you will. Everybody does this. It's a couple of X's and things like that. Everybody does it. You'll be doing those kinds of things, and create space for that. Give yourself permission to really be a graduate student now, and to learn, and just to be with the material that's coming your way. Ask questions of your faculty member and of your colleagues, because this is graduate school. You only get the opportunity to do this once, and I'm just so very grateful. I look back now on my time in my master's program when I was learning to be a counselor, and it's really one of the happiest periods of my life. It's just was a wonderful, distinct period of learning, and that's really all I had to do. I mean, I had other responsibilities, but that was really what my life goal was. And that's the thing I would wish for you, is to go ahead and turn yourself over to that, and just surrender to the learning experience, because it's just completely awesome.
I think one thing that I would really encourage you to do is reach out and find peer support, because I think in programs like this, it's so important to really kind of find a peer, or find a group of people that have like-minded experiences, or that are going through some of the similar challenges, or some of the things that students may not be going through in other programs. And so really kind of confide in your peers, and because there are going to be challenges and things that you're going to be dealing with, that you really want to kind of have a like-minded colleague that you can share with, or just kind of open up and express everything that's going on. So I would encourage you to find peer support, and also confide into your professors and your faculty, because ask questions, and don't be afraid to ask or think that a question that you're going to have might be dumb, or something that they don't want to hear, but because they're all important, and we're all here to help you and support you in the best way that we can.
I would have to second that. Take the time to get to know your peers. Some of the most wonderful friends I have, I met while I was in my counseling program many years ago as well. And so really take that time, use your learning community, use your residency time to really build those relationships, because widen your horizons as a counselor and as a student, but there's also just so much to be gained even just in friendships and relationships. So definitely take that opportunity. The other piece of information that I would have to recommend as your advisor is that if you have a question or if there's an issue or something's bothering you, do not wait to reach out to me. Our classes move very quickly, and there's a lot of content built into them. So the moment that you realize that there's something that might be impacting your studies, or you have a question, send me an email or pick up the phone and call me, and I will help with whatever it is.
One piece I always need to make certain online students understand is that being an online program is a bit of a mixed blessing in the sense that many students choose online programs because of the convenience, because you've got very busy lives, you may have jobs, families, etc. And when I ask students who sometimes struggle, when they are working, they say, well, whenever. And I always say, where on the clock is whenever? Where on the calendar is whenever? Because if your plan is to do your coursework when you have a chance, I'm afraid you may be setting yourself up for a difficult experience, because as you've heard here, this program is designed to be highly engaging, but it is graduate school. It is work. It takes time. There is reading. And I strongly encourage you to block out that time. As Stacy said, to give yourself to it. That's a really nice way of thinking about it. I'd also say, give yourself that gift of the time. If you have other responsibility, if there are other people in your life, you may need to really say to them, look, this is important. We need to work this out. And if you can't get your study done at home because there's too much noise, well, find a quiet spot to do that and carve that out on the calendar. Following up with what Dr. Cummins said is we're really trying to build a sense of community here. And we've got all of these resources to help you do that, but they won't work if you don't use them. And so I really want to encourage you to use them. One of the things I want to encourage you to do, some of you have and some of you haven't yet, is when you go into your Blackboard shell, please post your picture. It sounds so silly, but connecting that way is really important. Some of you have put a picture of your dog, your kids, and I get how you might do that in a social media process, but I really want to encourage you to put a picture of yourself. Don't worry about whether the lighting's right or the makeup's right. Just, there's a brain center that responds to the human face. It's very important, so I really want to strongly encourage you to do that. I'm also going to give you a homework assignment here. Your first homework assignment is, if you haven't done this already, is to go and join the learning community and post something about yourself. And I'd like you to answer the question, why I want to be a counselor, so that you can begin to get to know each other. As I said, you'll obviously have the opportunity to meet each other in person coming up all very soon. But I really want you to use the tools that we have provided for you. Any other last thoughts before we finish up?
Hold on, it goes fast.
Hold on. Good. Great.
And have fun.
Well, I want to thank you all for joining us. And again, if you have any questions, Sarah is your main point of contact, and you'll find ways to contact the rest of the faculty in your courses, and you'll find ways to contact Dr. Gray through the learning community as well. So be well. Goodbye.